Hello and welcome to Game of the Week. This is Homefront Part 2, and in this video I'm going to be discussing what it is about Homefront's multiplayer that not only makes it the best part of the game, but sets it apart from other multiplayer shooters, especially those on consoles, and why it's one of the best multiplayer shooters to actually have come out in 2011. I've gone ahead and come up with a few reasons here, and I'm going to list them off in order, not in order of importance, but to just illustrate my point here. The first one is the battle point system. How battle points work are you're awarded points for doing things within the match. Getting a kill, getting a headshot, getting an assist, controlling a point, avenging a teammate. All these things give you battle points, and then you can spend them on unlocking vehicles or using rewards, such as a drone or a Predator missile strike or a Hellfire missile strike. All sorts of things are unlockable here. Usually these boil down to vehicles, although there are some infantry-only maps. The beautiful thing about battle points is that you can save them up, and since the matches tend to take really long amount of time, you can build them up to huge numbers, to the point where you can start the match on foot and then eventually end up in a helicopter. I prefer to use the drones. They're really fun to use, plus it's a cheap way to get battle points, especially from the beginning. And you do start with a handful of points, enough to unlock a drone or a basic infantry vehicle, but never really anything to get a gigantic vehicle or something that's just going to own the other team right from the beginning. Another thing that Homefront does really well, dedicated servers. Consoles as well as PC are all hosted on dedicated servers. And while there are problems with them sometimes, the beautiful thing about the dedicated servers is that on console, you can have 16 on 16 ground control matches. Now that's pretty friggin' cool. Not a lot of games try that, and most stick to the 8 on 8, or at most 12 on 12. And it's really fun to see 32 players running around on the battlefield. That battlefield also consists of very open maps. The cool thing about the open maps is that it affords you the ability to move around a lot more, and when you play ground control, which I think is the best game mode, the points change. So when the match starts, the 3 points in the map will be determined in a certain place. Now, since ground control is a best 2 out of 3, after the first round is completed, 3 brand new points start up on the map. You don't have to wait for another game to start. You go right after it. Also, having big wide open maps allows you to drive tanks, pilot helicopters, drive Humvees all over the place. The only downside is this does lead to a certain amount of camping, especially when you're playing Team Deathmatch. For Team Deathmatch, the maps are shortened down a little bit, but not considerably. One of the best things about Homefront's multiplayer modes is the concept of Battle Commander. As you play through a match, especially when you get on a streak, where you kill a bunch of guys or you get a bunch of tags with a drone, you will get stars and you'll become notorious to the other team. And it starts off really slow. You'll get 1 out of a possible 5. And 3 or so enemies on the other team will be aware of your location, and there'll be a bounty on your head. As you gain more notoriety throughout the match, especially if you go up to 5 stars, sort of like Grand Theft Auto, the whole enemy team will know your location. Not your exact location, but far enough so that they'll have a good idea of where you are. And this is hard to achieve, especially if you're not inside of a tank. And hopefully if you get this far, the other team doesn't have their battle points saved up, because they will get you. And the bounty that's on your head is worth a lot of battle points. It's really tough to get these streaks going for yourself, but it's really satisfying to take them out on the other team. The good part about Battle Commander is that it's built into the game, and there isn't one person on your team who's dictating who you should be killing. So every so often, the game will tell you that they've marked a high priority target on the other team. Go get them. There's lots of points on the line. So these are the reasons why I really enjoy Homefront. I know some of the footage that I have here isn't spectacular or amazing or, good, but the multiplayer in Homefront is one of the most original and fun multiplayer experiences I've played in a while. When the game came out, the reviews compared it to a Battlefield meets Counter-Strike game. And that's true because it has the purchasing abilities of Counter-Strike and lots of vehicles like Battlefield. Now, since the game did come out in March, and playing on the Xbox 360, I haven't had any trouble getting into any matches. So if you want to check this game out, even for the multiplayer, which I recommend you do, it's not too hard. Again, speaking only for the Xbox 360, there are people playing, tons of matches. You can get in, have some fun, and get out, and I recommend you do.